Now, I understand that my message won't be heard by some people. We live in a nation that is deeply divided, and I am a Black woman.
I said, no, what?
Speaking at the Democratic Convention.
The building is on fire.
We come from the land of the ice and the snow, from the midnight sun where the hot springs flow. Hammer of the gods, we drive our ships to new lands to fight the horde and sing and cry. Valhalla, I am coming. On we sweep with threshing oars. Our only goal will be the western shores. As Robert Plant said, I shall speak of the future of invasions to come. It's not funny. Why am I laughing? I don't know. I guess it's just our way to deal with it. It's like when you're experiencing a situation of utter stressness, you gotta laugh a little bit and go, because we got some serious crazy mess going on when it comes to our open borders. And yeah, so just a little update of what's going on with Trump right here. Of course, we may have heard or maybe not have, Supreme Court officially asked to overturn Colorado High Court decision to bar from Trump from the ballot. Just to let you know, we knew this was going to happen. And the Republican Party asked the U.S. Supreme Court to overturn the state's high court's decision to bar Trump from the 2024 ballot. The Colorado Supreme Court last Tuesday disqualified Trump. Of course, we know all about that. If you're here, you probably already heard that there's going to be an appeal filed. The actual ruling doesn't take effect till in January. So by the time they do that, they file for the appeal. There's a stay on the case, of course, of the ruling. Then what happens is while the Trump's on the ballot, it can't necessarily, not unless the Supreme Court comes in with an emergency injunction going, get him off the ballot, ruin the country, burn down the country. Politically, legally, or whatever. So, but that's very likely not to happen. So that means that until there's an actual final decision, which could take a little while, Trump will be on the ballot. And I really would hope that justice prevails in the right direction, especially when it comes to Jack Smith. He's not even supposed to be doing this thing with Letitia James. He's not even doing, according to a lot of really, not just Republican or whatever you want to call right-leaning people that are constitutional, not prostitutes, but professors. They said that it's not, what's going on with Jack Smith isn't legitimate. He's not. It hasn't been legitimately assigned to the case because he's a private citizen, and there's a lot of talk about how this all plays out when it comes to being a federally appointed judge by congressional hearings and all that. So that's just weird that it's even going as far as it has with. But of course, the end game for this and all is to bend over backwards to try to put Trump in jail so they'll have that in the history books. That's really where it's at. That's Chatkatan, that Obama appointed judge, and we've seen Obama appointed judges do the right thing. That we have. So it's not just. It's just, but this one does have to be appointed by Obama. We've had Trump-appointed judges do crazy things, and we'll see how this rolls out. So, hopefully we can see some veil of justice that goes in a direction that is somewhat sustainable. If we go, it's not going to be. Dude, check this out. A 4-year-old, completely eviscerates Nikki Haley. Watch this.
I wanted to ask you, so Chris Christie thinks that you're a flip-flopper on the Donald Trump issue. And honestly, I agree with him. And you're basically the new John Kerry on the...
In case you didn't hear the audio, he's like, what's your position on flip-flopping with Trump? Because one minute she was for Trump, next minute she's against Trump. You can tell the machine in the system really likes Nikki Haley. Lots of money are going in her direction. She's getting lots of good media coverage. She's, all the good press. But this 4-year-old, I don't know whose kid this is, but kudos to the parents. 10-year-old. He says at the very end, you're like the next John Kerry. At the very end, it's it's hard to hear, but listen close.
You're basically the new John Kerry on the...
One more time to make me just... And I have an NAACP member that I think we could all tip our hat to, but listen to this one more time.
You're basically the new John Kerry on the...
He's 4, so I mean, or 10 years old, so he's a little nervous at the end to hear him laugh. and of course she has the ever so awkward smile on her face, like, what parent coached their kid on this briefing? But 10-year-olds, you'd be surprised, are up and up on stuff, especially in a household where just sort of listening in the corner. You don't have to feed any of this to these kids. It's just going on so much right now that there are, there's an awakening of really young people who are going, something is not right here. Check this NAACP member out. She's going to call out some migrants. Okay, wait a minute. This is where I'm like, hey, what's up with... She gets fired. She gets fired for this. Suspended Illinois State Conference President Teresa Haley after calling illegal immigrants rapists, burglars, and savages during Zoom call video. Look at this is the Zoom call video that got her fired. And in the comment sections, you tell me if she went too far. I mean, really.
But these immigrants have come over here. They've been raping people. They've been breaking into homes.
Oh, no.
They're like savages as well. They don't speak the language, and they look at us like we were crazy. But these immigrants...
Yeah, what happens is like at some point in time, this is where the people, I'm telling you guys, you can only go so far when the bar keeps getting moved further and further into what you have to do to be accepted by the masses according to the algorithm. People are going to tap out. They can't take it so much. I mean, yeah, it was all fun and games canceling all the people who like the Hank Williams Jr.'s and the stuff like that. Yeah, cancel all those people, those good old boys, those rebel flag, cancel them. Get rid of those people. Get them off the Twitters. Oh, because they wouldn't limbo under the bar being lowered every time. Officially, you can't limbo, but so this woman here is living in a town where this is all going on, and she was like, I'm only seeing what's really happening here, and I'm going to say something about it, and I really think that at some point that that, I'm trying to protect. She's thinking that she's doing a favor for the people that she's representing for the NAACP. If you understand what the NAACP is, you understand why she's saying what she's saying, because her people are being displaced, allegedly. And she's saying something about it. But the NAACP is about to just turn on their own just like that right there, because you're not protected like you think you are. The system will come. You keep moving forward with a protected system and see how far, because the system's always going to look out for itself. If you take part in that and you think that you're going to be protected because you're part of that system of cancel culture and derivatives of whatever is said to be the mainstream narrative according to these people, you are going to be ate up by the mission, because it's going to protect itself and you're going to be just a cutaway. So here she is trying to do her job and say, hey, some of the people that I'm representing here isn't, we're getting kind of screwed over, guys. And what she said probably allegedly isn't that far off from what's really happening. That's the sad thing about society now, and she's getting canceled for it. So anyhow, just a little heads up to the people that might be lefties that's anger watching this video and thinking that I'm just mad and want to, I'm just doing Trump supporters and all. No. I'm a supporter of sustainability and people and humanity. And whoever's behind that, and that I think can do the job, that's who I'm going to support. And right now it looks like it's our man that's been persecuted more than anything we've ever seen before. And in the history that 14th Amendment's being invoked on this dude Trump. Man, what's up with that? Oh, by the way, fully vaccinated 18-year-old Bernie Sanders tests positive for the COVID. He got the look at this doctor. Oh, it says, I mean, what's up with this? Oh my goodness. So, yep, that angry lesbian right there is getting a good old dose of that there. Comorbidity. I made the joke because they changed the definition for the word that it's for the word that's for vaccine. They really did. They modified the definition to fit that narrative. And that's what they did. I'm not saying whether or not it's any good or not, but I'm saying they did. And that means technically if that word doesn't keep you from being able, just doesn't protect you 100%, they changed the definition. Well, if you read the back of a rubber, I've made this joke before, but in case you're new and tuning in, we're going to reuse an old joke. That means a rubber is a vaccine. Allegedly. Oh, I don't know. I'm just saying. It's just crazy because it doesn't protect you 100%. It's only a preventative. I'm only just making a joke, guys. I'm not giving any kind of advice. It's just laughing about stuff. So in case anybody's going to get hang up about it, I'm not saying anything real. Just toss that idea around in your head with that. Anyhow. Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger refuses to testify under oath about Secretary of State's things that they use to count the stuff that you put your choosing papers in for people or your leader tutors. I'm using code words. I know. You're like, why? Just say it. I don't know. It just makes me feel better. But when you cast your ballot, it goes into a thing, it counts it, and there's some stuff going on in court about it, and whether or not what was actually the numbers that were real, I don't know. There's a lot of allegedity, but in the real world, we think we can kind of see what's happening. There was a phone call between Trump and Brad Raffensperger of Trump asking Raffensperger to quote unquote find the votes. And I have actually heard the whole phone call, and it's took completely out of context when you chop it up like they have and actually put out on the radio so that they could try to program the public in a direction. It doesn't say anything at all about trying to quote unquote find votes that aren't there. Just look and see and make sure that everything was counted properly is pretty much what Trump was asking Raffensperger to do. And it was a recorded phone call that wasn't supposed to be recorded, which in all actuality is a violation of some kind of a congressional executive thingy that they have to do with phone calls. So if anybody really broke the law here, allegedly it would have been Raffensperger, right? But anyway, so he was asked to testify under oath about these machines and his knowledge of what these things can and can't do. And here recently he declined that. He declined that. He said, I don't really want to do that. Why? What's up with that? I mean, what are you scared that there's a possibility of incrimination? Which to be honest with you, if there was, we've seen this happen when it comes to litigation for cases on our side, and that's because of the fact that, there's bogus allegations. But here we've got some more quote-unquote bogus allegations that seem to be pretty fearful if you're so well endowed to go after this dude and and have Fannie Willis and all these people bring you up in court and arrest a bunch of your people that represent, that were working for you, especially with the one black dude that doesn't get out of jail in Georgia, put in there by a black DA against her. It's totally against the kinfolk thing. I mean, no, that's just violating that that whatever oath that's going on there. Anyhow, but far left Judge Amy Totenberg sealed and covered up the results of the investigation of these machines in Georgia and then sat on the report for 2 years until its released last summer. But Trump-hating Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger hid his information from the public until June 2023. Here's a copy of the Hildeman report released in June and all, which is okay. So you'll look on my Twitter page and you can read through all that. Just go to One William One Arch on Twitter and check me out. Please give me a follow over there. We're trying to build that thing. It's not blue check certified because whatever. I guess I need to get the stupid blue check so everybody will be whatever. But anyways, you'll see me in my 3-wheeler or a A1 of mine. I got a couple other things here. I just wanted to see here. We finally do real quick. Oh, China accused of working on bioweapons targeting human brains. And there's a whole thing going on with deer right now with some kind of brain disease that deer have been catching. And like I say, don't just not to tie anything together. There is an organization that's run by Bill Gates that actually goes and jabs up wild animals, and they disperse so-called rabies vaccines in these biodegradable ketchup packets for the wild animals to eat to help them take care of the rabies, whatever. And now you've got some stuff like this going on. And then China's like, we can top that. We're going after we're going after humans. And there's more to this right here. I mean, I saw this article yesterday, and some more has come out. Gordon Chang exposes China's experimentation. Clearly, it's a biological weapon. This is what the Gordon G. Chang, author of Coming Collapse of China, raised concerns about China's alleged experimentation with biological weapons targeting human brains. The report by the Washington Times detailed Chinese Communist Party studies on weapons designed to induce sleep-related disturbances, create brain-device connections. What? Wait a minute. Okay. And develop pharmaceuticals to genetically and physiologically impair individuals. Oh, no. The word create brain device connections. It's got me all effed up inside. What kind of stuff would they need to get in your body to create situations like that? Just in the comment sections, you can leave me a few of your dissenting reviews. I mean, what do you think? Am I wrong? I mean, is graphene oxide a thing? I'm just saying. I don't know, but that's yeah. And let me make sure I'm going to roll through a couple here. Oh, mysterious fireball spotted in Iowa left authorities with no answers. There was a huge video of an explosion in Iowa, and nobody has any explanations. Nobody can figure out what it is. Just a bunch of people saw it. That's just a psychological operation. Iowa, please don't fall for it. It's fear-mongering. There's a lot of weird things going on around us that are being taken to move us in weird directions. Biden using 3 fake names, communicated with shady business associates. Oversight Committee James Comer joined Fox News to give an update on the impeachment probe of Joe Biden. Comer told Fox News, by the way, if you listen to what George Santos says, good luck with Comer, because he's not competent. That's what was said by Santos, and I'm just that's what he said. I don't know or not. I mean, if all I can say is if they're having this much trouble with all the stuff that they've got in front of them to do anything, there could be a level of competency on the Republican Party side that is somewhat concerning. Right now, I think one of the most important amounts, this is James Comer, by the way, of documentation that we need are those pseudonym emails. Those are the alternate names. Remember, no one knew about these pseudonym emails until a few months ago. We found that Joe Biden was using at least 3 fake names on government emails. One of them was Pedo Pete, or that was his son doing that. We didn't know until recently what he was in fact, using those pseudonym emails and communicating with not just his son Hunter, but also with his shady business associates, his brother and stuff. Oh no! Look at this dude. I mean, that, by the way, is Oakland, California's police chief is slated to go on for. That's the mayor of Oakland, by the way, and that is totally not a CCP transgender woman, dude. Yep, totally not. Anyways, the search of Oakland's police chief is slated to go on further as the city's mayor, Shane Teo. Seems like Teo is the last name of some of these people who are, like, if you ever just like, I'm just saying there's a lot of weird stuff on YouTube when it comes to Teo stuff, and there's like a bunch of dudes dressed up like women, and I don't know. You're going to say, well, how do you know that? Without too long of an explanation, algorithms do some weird stuff whenever you're looking for content. That's all I'm trying to say. And, I'm not going to Pete Townsend this out here and say, Pete Townsend got in trouble and went to court and found not guilty, but he was looking at a bunch of child porn back in the 90s when the internet first got going. Look into that. Pete Townsend from The Who. He got in all kind of trouble and then somehow or another was able to skeet by court, or I think he got reduced charges, but they found a whole bunch of CP on his computer back in. He had a 486 with 80 megabyte hard drive, and it was 79.99 megabytes of CP. And he was just doing research, according to. Not helping my case at all, am I? But anyhow, long story short, this dude over here is not going to allow police. It's like he says Armstrong was fired after an investigation shown by misconduct. Oakland Police Department officers. He was later exonerated. So this dude right here fires Oakland police chief because of misconduct. The police chief gets exonerated on these charges. This dude right here will not hire the police chief back. And matter of fact, 3 other names have been brought to the table, will not hire those either, and says, well, if we don't have a police chief by the beginning of the year, I guess I'll just have to file for a state of emergency. And what does that do when they put things under state of emergencies? Think about that. That gives you the precarious position to possibly use a thing called martial law in that community because of the state of emergency. Is that an accident? I'm just looking ahead. I'm just predicting. I have nothing to back that claim up, but it seems awful ironic that they would not hire the dude that was actually doing, I think he was doing like not that bad of a job in Oakland, was kind of like trying to clean things up. Dude gets fired. Dude gets exonerated. Dude won't get hired back. Now the 3 names that came up aren't being accepted. Why? I don't know. But anyways, that's where we're at with that dude. Mayor announces executive orders for buses transporting migrants to New York City mid-flight. New York is now limiting when buses can come in and bring illegals in. And it has to be at a certain time of the day, Monday through Friday, and can only drop off passengers at one location unless otherwise directed by the city. So these people go to New York because that's where they want to go. If you actually watch the video, nobody's forcing these migrants to go there, the illegals to go there. That's where they want to go. And now you're depriving these people of their right to travel. What do you think about that? Since you want to go lefty and see these people and all that, you want to come in here illegally? Well, now you're going to deprive you of your right to travel. And it really because they didn't realize how many people they were going to let in. He was like, "Oh, it's cool. We'll virtue signal and everything and all." But better yet, it's all a placation of kabuki theater because he's got to play victim just like everybody else. So you can try to feel sorry for Eric Adams when he had so many hearings by so many people who were local in the area who supposedly voted for him. Got him in there, and now he's done this, and they have bucked at every corner to not let these illegals in, but he is letting them in left and right, and now he's finally starting to do something because it's about that time for some election cycle, maybe, probably. But anyways, prominent Republican Georgia lawmaker Barry Fleming appointed to judgeship. I don't know anything about this guy. I have no idea, but that's just happening right now in Georgia. A prominent Georgia state lawmaker was appointed Wednesday to the judgeship, and a special election for his House seat will be needed in coming months. Republican Barry Fleming of Harlem will serve as Superior Court judge in Columbia County, replacing Judge James Blanchard, who retired. Governor Brian Kemp said on the news Fleming will be sworn in on January 10th, said Kemp spokesperson Garrison Douglas. I don't know. I have no idea about that guy. So that's where we're at, and I just want to really appreciate everybody for thank you for tuning in and hanging out. You guys are great. The comment sections, please leave me comments of good and bad and let me know how you're doing out there. I like to read them, and I just want to thank you guys again and have a wonderful have a rest of the week of the head. When I learn how to talk, rest of the week. Have a good rest of the week, guys. I'm out. Lots of love. Big hugs.
Of the Greenland ice sheet affects acid would increase the level of the oceans by 7 meters.